Hello everyone. In the last lecture class, we were discussing about the dynamic memory allocation, wherein we had two unary operators. The one is called as the new operator, and the another is called as the delete operator. So in today's class, we'll see how the new operator is used for allocating the memory space, and delete operator will be used for deallocating the memory space. So moving to the new operator, as it has been already told, new operator is an unary operator. That means it works on only one operand. So new operator is used to allocate the memories of the size equal to its operand. What do you mean by equal to its operand? And returns the address to the beginning of the new block of memory allocated. So both this point we need to discuss. Now you see in the example, we are allocating the memory with the help of new operator to the pointer called p belonging to integer type, and the operator new is been followed by a data type, that is int. So that is equal to its size of its operand. What is its operand? Its operand is a data type. That is, what is the total amount of memory space occupied by integer? It is 4 bytes of memory space that will be allocated for the pointer p. Okay, that's the first point. So new operator is used to allocate the memory of the size equal to its operand and returns the address. Okay, whenever it is saying, it will return the address to the pointer called p, very beginning address. As you know, pointers are used to store the memory address. So very beginning address will be stored in the pointer. So what happens in the example? So in the above example, new operator allocates the memory of the size 2 bytes depending upon the high-end compiler or the low-end compiler. So here in this example, we have considered low-end compiler. It can be 2 or 4. Size of int, that is at runtime. That's important because new operator is a dynamic memory allocation operator. So and returns the address of the beginning of the new block of that has been memory allocated, and the address is stored in the pointer variable that is called as p, as I have explained you. This is the explanation. So moving to the next, the memory allocated using new operator can also be initialized at the time of allocation itself. That means when the variable is getting dynamically memory, it can also be initialized with some initial values at the time of allocation itself. So this can be done by the following. Character type of pointer ptr is been declared. How do we consider it as pointer? So the pointer operator, that is asterisk, has appeared before the variable name. So we consider this as an pointer. Is equals to new operator is used to allocate the memory space. The character type of memory space or the block is been allocated, and the variable pointer variable is been initialized with the value called a. So this statements will allocate 1 byte of memory space because character will occupy 1 byte of memory space. So new 1 byte of memory space will be allocated from the free store, that is pool of unallocated memory area. So stores the value a in it, that is whatever the pointer is there, the pointer will have a value which will be storing a and makes the pointer ptr to point to that particular memory block. So that is about the new operator, dynamic allocation. Now talking about delete operator, that is deallocating the memory space. Now when this scenario will be used, this is used when the operator what we are using with its operands, the operands are out of the scope. That means the variables or constants are out of the scope. That means they are no more in use. They are no more required. Such variables which are no more required can be deleted by the help of delete operator. So delete operator is used to deallocate the memory which has been allocated by new operator. So you have to deallocate the memory if it is out of the scope. So delete P, that is delete pointer name. So the command will deallocate the memory space pointed by the pointer variable. Okay, P we have used instead of L, we have used P over there. Now the next very much important, which was asked more than 2 times in the annual examination, that is difference between the static and the dynamic memory allocation. Now we have already discussed in our pointer concept 3 and 4 what is meant by static and dynamic allocation. So in the lecture video 3 and 4 you can refer to what is static and dynamic, but to be a quick recap on that, static means during the compilation, dynamic means using new and delete operator. So let us compare the static and the dynamic memory allocation so that you understand in a better format. The memory or the amount of memory to be allocated is known beforehand. That means I know before I create a variable what amount of memory space does the variable will occupy. Now if I say character ch, you know ch will occupy 1 byte of memory space because the data type char is having all the ranges, all the things size predefined into the compiler. Okay, so that is pre-hand, we know before allocation itself, before creating the variable we'll be knowing. Now what happens this in the dynamic memory allocation? The amount of memory to be allocated is not known, we don't know, okay, beforehand, but it is allocated depending upon the requirement, what amount of memory space I want, okay, how many size of the array can be increased or decreased, that can be required, okay, during the execution of the program. Memory allocation is done during the compilation, as we said, static in this compilation process, whereas the dynamic memory allocation is done during the runtime or during the execution of the program. Example, we spoke about the character variable. Here we have integer type of variable I. So the command will allocate 2 bytes of memory space and name it as I. So the dynamic memory allocation, this is an example for static allocation we have used in our course throughout. Whereas the dynamic memory allocation is allocated using the new operator, just now what we have discussed, using the new and delete operator. Example, int k is a pointer where new operator will allocate memory space of integer type, okay, and the very first address or very first byte address will be stored under the pointer k. So in the above example, new operator will allocate 2 bytes of memory space and returns the beginning address of it, which is stored in the pointer variable called k. Now next, comparing the static memory allocation, the memory is deallocated automatically as soon as the variable goes out of the scope. So that is about the static memory allocation. As soon as the variables are out of the scope, what do you mean by out of the scope? They are no more in use, okay, they are no more in requirement, then such variables will automatically deallocated and will be removed from the memory, okay. But whereas in the dynamic allocation, because we have implemented new operator, the removal or freeing up the memory space has to be done by using the delete operator. To deallocate this type of memory, that is dynamic type of memory, delete operator is used. For example, delete k, where k was a pointer which was allocated memory space by using integer type of variable, okay, new operator. So now this is about the static and the dynamic memory allocation. There are some predefined terminologies that you will have in the notes. Okay, you will study in the notes in a brief, but I have given you the conceptual understanding of the static and the dynamic memory allocation. Now coming to the next concept, that is called as a memory leak. Now the terminology leak stands for something that has been wasted, isn't it? The water is leaking, that means the water is getting wasted or going in another direction. It is not flowing correctly, okay. So that is memory leak. What is memory leak over here? A memory leak occurs when a piece or pieces many of memory that is previously allocated by the programmer by using new operator is not properly deallocated by the programmer by using delete operator. What will happen? Even though that the memory is no longer in use by the program, it is still reserved, it is still there. Okay, that and that piece of memory cannot be used by other programs or other applications until it is properly deallocated by the programmer by using delete operator. So now what will happen? The memory that has been allocated by new operator is still in reserve, is not properly deallocated by deleting operator. Such memory is called as the memory leak, which is not in use, not been freed up, which is in pieces. Okay, so that's why it is called as a memory leak, because it is like a leaky faucet. Now we talk about faucet is the tap what you use. Okay, faucet we will call it as a tap. Faucet in which the water is been wasted. Like you see, you go to public toilet and all that, the water will be falling tip, tip, tip like that. The faucet is flowing. Okay, with where been water has been wasted. Only in these cases, it is computer memory has been wasted. So now this memory leak has to be removed. Now when this memory leak becomes in number, that means there are many pieces, such a memory block is called as the orphaned memory block. Orphaned means there is no belonging, there is no one to use it. Okay, so when the memory leak increases in number, that is means the piece of information or the piece of code which is allocated by new operator is not been deleted properly. So such allocation is called as the memory leak, and if it is in number, we will call such memory allocation as the orphaned memory blocks. Okay, so this is the example of the memory leak. Going forward, we have the example of the memory leak. In the memory leak, we have example, a pointer PTR is allocated memory space and it is assigned the value. So value at PTR is equals to 100. So the above code resulted in memory leak because the memory is reserved by the new operator, is not freed by the delete operator. This memory never gets deallocated and is been wasted and it is no more in use. Okay, so such an example of the memory leak you can see. So talking about the next concept, that is called as the self-referential structures. Now what do you mean by self-referential structure? Self means to itself, okay, to the same kind, okay. Referential, referring to its own kind. Structure is a collection of heterogeneous elements, that is elements belonging to same or different kinds. So a self-referential structure is a structure, okay, it's kind of a heterogeneous elements which contains an element that points or refers to the structure itself. Okay, so what basic understanding you need to have? The structure that is referring or pointing to itself, such an structure is called as the self-referential structure. Okay, you see example, in the structure called student, there is roll number and name being declared. So what is this pointer? The pointer is belonging to same kind, that is the pointer link is belonging to student. So it is called as a self-referential structure. So pointer of the type structure itself is called as a self-referential structure. So now if I say int asterisk link, then it means that, okay, it means that we have, what is that? We have a link pointing to the integer type or a pointer pointing to the integer type. So this type of link where it is of same kind which is pointing to the structure itself, so we will call it as a self-referential structure. So the self-referential structures are used to create a node in the linked list. We'll talk about this in the chapter number 4, that is data structures, when we'll come to the data structures in detail about that. So the next very much important concept, okay, to be analyzed, to be understood is pass by value, pass by reference, and pass by pointer. Okay, it's just for the knowledge sake. No questions will be asked probably from this particular unit, that is pass by value, pass by reference, and pass by pointer. Now what is pass? Passing is nothing but giving. So where do we pass the values? So when I take the word pass the value or pass the reference or pass the pointer, we are talking about the functions. We are talking about the functions. Okay. When we pass the values from the main method to the function call or to the function to be called, we will call it as actual parameters and the formal parameters. Where are actual parameters present? Actual parameters are present in the calling statement, whereas the formal parameters are present in the function prototype, that is the line of the function declaration. So pass by value, what will happen? Separate memory is been allocated for the formal parameter. Where the formal parameters are present? They are present in function prototype. In this example, the formal parameter is x, because void cube int x, this is the function, isn't it? So the first line of the function is called as a function prototype. The parameter that appears in the function prototype is called as the formal parameter. So the formal and the actual parameter share the same memory, but here separate memory has been shared by formal parameter and the actual parameter. The actual parameter in this pass by value is y, the formal parameter is x. So this is function call statement, isn't it? The function call statement, what we have the calling of the function. So that is there. Okay, we have modified certain statement over here, but actual and formal parameter x and y both will share the same memory space. Okay, so what will happen in pass by pointer? So here values are being passed, here references are being passed, we'll see it later. Formal parameter contains the address of the actual parameter. So here we'll be working on the addresses, not on the memory space, sharing memory space or same memory space. Okay, so changes done in the formal parameter, here whatever the changes are been done will not be reflected to the actual parameter. So changes done to x will not be reflected to y, but here changes done will be reflected. Whatever changes you do to x will be reflected to y also. So here also changes done in the formal parameters are also reflected into the actual parameter. So same memory, separate memory, same memory, okay, contains the same address. That is the difference. Changes are not reflected. Changes are reflected from actual to formal. Changes are reflected from actual to formal. That's the thing that you need to understand. So by this diagram, you may understand it has a separate memory for x and y. It has the same memory, no separate memory for x and y, but here addresses are being stored by the pointers. So this is pass by value, talking about that. Separate memory allocation for x and y, both will have different blocks. Okay, then for references, pass by references, same memory has been shared, same memory by x and y has been shared. Okay, the addresses are not different, so you see container is not been created. Then references are been used, or addresses of x is been copied into y, or the addresses are been worked out in the pass by reference. Okay, so the next type is the pointer and the object. So an object of pointer type or a pointer created for the object is called as a pointer to the object. So the pointer pointing to objects are referred as pointer object. That means the pointer is of class type or it is an object. Class asterisk object name or pointer object. So the class name is employee. The pointer is created is PTR. So now once the object is created, you know that we can refer to the memory space of the or the data members and the member functions of the object. Similarly, by using this, we can also access the members of the class, that is data members and member function, by using the pointer object but with the member operator, that is arrow operator, where the arrow operator is used to link the object pointer and the members of the class. So PTR which has been created, if there is a function in the class called employee, the name of the function is display, I can call the display function by using the pointer arrow operator display instead of dot operator. If there is a pointer that is been pointing to the object, then I can create it. Okay, so we have a program related to the pointer to the object. We'll discuss in the next class. So the last concept is the this pointer. Very much last concept is the this pointer. It is the pointer which allows the object to access its own address. If the pointer is accessing to its own address, such a pointer is called as the this pointer. So it is used inside member function to refer to the invoking object, that is currently working object. I want to know where I am working right now, so I will use this pointer and I will access the address of my own working space or own working area. This is one mark. So the pointer which allows the object to access to its own address, okay, own residing, where it resides or where it stays, is called as the this pointer. Okay, thank you for being patient on this chapter. So pointer chapter is very much important when you are going for the higher education. Hope you are following it. In the next class, we'll have a look on the program and we'll move to the next chapter called as data file handling. Thank you.